Most people think luxury means expensive clothes, fast cars, or giant mansions. But for the top 1%, luxury exists on an entirely different level. It's about exclusivity, status, privacy, power, and owning things almost nobody else on Earth can access. And some of the purchases made by the world's richest people are so extreme, they sound unreal. Because at the highest level of wealth, money is no longer used just to buy things that are nice to have, it is used to buy things that are rare, private, limited, or sometimes completely unreachable for the average person. And this creates a fascinating reality. The richest individuals in the world are not just buying expensive items, they are buying control, privacy, time, experience, and assets that redefine what expensive even means. So let's step inside that world and explore the most expensive things owned by the top 1%, and understand what makes them so valuable beyond just price tags. 10. Private jets, ultimate time and freedom machine. One of the most iconic symbols of extreme wealth is the private jet. But what most people do not realize is that it is not just a luxury vehicle, it is a time-saving system. For the ultra-wealthy, private jets are not about comfort alone, but about efficiency, privacy, and control over their schedule. They can travel across continents without delays, commercial restrictions, or time loss, which makes the jet not just transportation, but a productivity tool that allows business and life to operate on their own terms. And depending on customization, ownership, and size, private jets can cost tens of millions to hundreds of millions of dollars. 9. Superyachts, floating private cities. Superyachts represent one of the most extreme forms of luxury ownership, often described as floating private resorts equipped with bedrooms, lounges, cinemas, gyms, spas, and even helipads. But beyond luxury, they represent something deeper: complete privacy in the middle of the ocean, away from public access and external control. For the top 1%, a yacht is not just a boat, it is a private world that can travel anywhere. And some of the most advanced superyachts in the world cost hundreds of millions, with ongoing maintenance that itself reaches millions per year. 8. Luxury real estate, global mansions and private estates. Real estate at the top level is not limited to houses. It becomes global ownership of land, estates, penthouses, islands, and historic properties in prime locations around the world. These properties are often designed with extreme privacy, security systems, and architectural uniqueness that separates them from anything in the mass market. In many cases, the value is not just in the structure itself, but in the location, exclusivity, and long-term investment potential. For the top 1%, real estate is not just living space, it is a long-term wealth preservation system. 7. Private islands, complete isolation and ownership. Owning a private island represents one of the highest levels of exclusivity in the world, where individuals can control an entire piece of land surrounded by water, with no public interference. These islands can be developed into private resorts, personal retreats, or fully customized living environments. The value here is not just financial, it is emotional and psychological freedom, where privacy becomes absolute. For the ultra-wealthy, this is one of the rarest forms of ownership. 6. Luxury art collections, million-dollar and billion-dollar pieces. At the highest level of wealth, art becomes more than decoration, it becomes investment, status, and historical ownership. Paintings, sculptures, and rare artworks by legendary artists are often sold for tens or even hundreds of millions of dollars. But what makes them truly valuable is not just the artwork itself, it is scarcity, history, and cultural significance. For the top 1%, owning art is often about legacy and long-term value preservation rather than simple aesthetic appreciation. 5. Rare supercars and hypercars, engineering at the extreme level. Luxury cars at this level are not just transportation, they are engineering masterpieces created in extremely limited numbers. These vehicles often combine performance, design, exclusivity, and customization that make them far beyond standard luxury vehicles. Some are even produced in limited editions, making them collector assets that increase in value over time. For the wealthy, these cars are not just about speed, they are about identity and exclusivity. 4. Luxury watches and rare timepieces. At first glance, Watches may seem like simple accessories, but in the world of the top 1%, they represent craftsmanship, heritage, and investment value. Some watches are made with rare materials, complex mechanical systems, and limited production runs, making them highly collectible. In many cases, these timepieces are passed down across generations as assets rather than accessories. They represent precision, legacy, and status in a compact form. 3. Exclusive memberships and private clubs. One of the least visible but highly powerful assets owned by the wealthy is access to private networks, elite clubs, investment groups, and invitation-only communities. These memberships often cannot be purchased directly without approval, connections, or extremely high entry requirements. And the real value is not the physical space, it is the opportunities, relationships, and deals that happen inside these networks. In many cases, access becomes more valuable than physical assets. 2. Private security and personal protection systems. At the highest level of wealth, security becomes a major investment category, including personal bodyguards, surveillance systems, secure transportation, and advanced protection services. This is not about fear, it is about risk management and lifestyle protection. Because as wealth increases, privacy and safety become more important than material luxury. For the top 1%, security is not optional, it is a necessary system. 1. The real meaning behind all these expensive things. When you look at all these assets together, one important truth becomes clear: the most expensive things owned by the top 1% are not just objects of luxury, but systems of control, privacy, time, access, and long-term value. Because at that level, money is no longer spent for comfort alone. It is spent to optimize life, protect freedom, and expand influence. And the real difference is not just what they own, it is what those things allow them to do. So when you step back and analyze the world of extreme wealth, it becomes clear that luxury is not just about appearance, it is about access, efficiency, and control over life at the highest level. And while most people only see the surface of expensive cars, houses, and lifestyles, the real wealth lies in the systems and assets that create freedom, privacy, and long-term power. Because in the end, the top 1% are not just buying expensive things, they are buying a different way of living. And if you found this video valuable, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and join a community focused on financial growth, wealth knowledge, and luxury insights. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.